Hallo, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Suzerain, genau zu sein, die 37. Folge. Immer noch ohne Apfel, aber davon lassen wir uns doch jetzt gar nicht aufhalten. Wir speechen wegen den Reforms. I came to the Grand National Assembly of Scotland to deliver a speech regarding the new constitution and ask for the support of the Assembly before the upcoming vote. I walked quickly through the corridors, giving my greetings to people on my way towards the parliamentary hall. When I entered the hall, the assembly was in complete chaos, with shouting and cursing between the parties. There was a heavy argument about a proposal made by an MP from NFP. I took my seat inside a special area reserved for the ministers. Gloria was shouting from her seat at the center of the hall as she hit the gavel 3 times, with each strike heavier than the one before. Order! Order! Ich habe das so scheiße vorgelesen. I saw Kisaro Kibbener standing up from his seat and shouting towards the members of the PFJP. Mr. Kibbener, come yourself. Show respect to the procedures of this assembly. Despite her efforts, the argument continued for a couple of minutes before everybody took back to their seats and finally went quiet. Mr. Kibbener, next time when I tell you to do so, either take your seat or leave the hall, so we can proceed with the procedures of this assembly and continue our duties. Some MPs from the NFP side shouted back at her in protest. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me to continue, she pointed at me, we have the President here with us today. He has asked to give an important announcement. The assembly fell silent. You have the floor, Mr. President. I walked to the stand and loud clapping style from the USP side. Honorable members of the Grand National Assembly of Scotland, I am here today to raise important questions regarding our outdated constitution. Our constitution doesn't adequately define or respect the separation of powers and the balance between the branches. In order to strengthen our democracy, we must be brave enough to point out the faults of our constitution. I continued. I call everyone to stand by us, to make historic changes to our constitution and bring it to the standards of today's world. Applause came from the USP and PFJP seats. PFJP war People's Freedom and Justice Party. We will rebalance the branches of government to ensure a more democratic process. It is more important than ever that we stand united as a nation in these changing times. I call everybody to the part of the change our people has been calling for. We all want to make Scotland better, don't we? Let's embrace democracy and unite under the banner of our people, and surely Scotland will be great again. We will make Scotland great again. Loud noises came from USP and NFP seats. I took a brief and continued. Ladies and gentlemen of the Assembly, we must set aside our differences. Be part of a new era of Scotland. Join us and vote for our proposal. I will address all the problems of the past in my proposal. I saluted the crowd. For a united Scotland! The assembly roared with all kinds of different reactions. The whole USP stood up and started applauding. Thank you for this speech, Mr. President. I walked back to my seat as many MPs asked to speak. Franz Richter was among them. Yes, Mr. Richter. Thank you, Miss Speaker. I would like to thank Mr. President for his speech. We, the PFJP, stands in agreement with the need for a more democratic constitution. I would like to thank the ladies and gentlemen of the USP for their more open attitudes compared to past years. As long as Mr. President's words prove not to be just words, we will be behind this much-needed movement for change. We welcome this attempt. I ask Mr. President to share the final contents of these proposals as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Suddenly, Cesaro Kibbener started yelling from his seat. The President must have lost his mind to cooperate with the likes of you, Mr. Richter. You and PFJP are nothing but puppets of Western interests. Order! Madam Speaker, I know you are in agreement with me as well. Don't stand idly there while this administration is making deals with snakes and undermine the integrity of Order, Mr. Kibbener! How many times do I need to say? You're speaking out of two. I demand to speak. Gloria gave him a stare. She looked annoyed. Very well, Mr. Kibbener. Go ahead. Mr. President. He looked directly at me. The nationalist movement does not agree with your priorities, nor the way you're trying to implement them. The National Front Party will not stand with you on your new constitution. Let it be known that the NFP concerns are not included in this so-called democratic reforms. Thus, Mr. President has no right to claim them as such. We will stand our ground against any attempt to bring down our established political culture and national values. Thank you. Kaiser went back up to his seat, but the chaos in the assembly continued. I asked to speak. Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Richter. I looked at him. Thank you for the nice words. We'd like to have cooperation between our parties. Thank you for your support. We are looking forward to work with the PFJP. Mr. Kibbener, I looked at him. We are not specifically cooperating with someone, but everyone. We ask that you also join us. He watched as he slouched on his seat, legs crossed. Do not stand against change. Be a part of it, Mr. Kibbener. We can do much more together. Don't you dare stand against me. Otherwise, know that the NFP is guaranteed to be history. Do not stand against change. Be a part of it, Mr. Kibbener. We can do so much more together. Thank you. Gloria looked at me to see if I finished. Thank you, Miss Speaker. I got up from my seat and started to walk towards the exit. MPs kept shouting and responding to each other, creating a loud mess where nothing was legible. Order! Order! This topic is finished. We are moving on to our next topic. I slowly left the hall. The shouting could be heard from every corridor of the Grand National Assembly. Ich glaube, dass es eine ziemlich gute Rede war. Oh, continue. Gut, dann würde ich sagen, war es das mit der Folge. Lasst uns ein Like und ein Abo, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Schaut beim nächsten Mal wieder vorbei. Und tschüss.